Namaste, Dandavat Pranam. By the instruction and grace of our spiritual master on Viṣṇupād Paramahamsa Sripad Bhakti Madhava Puri Mahārāja, we're here reading Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Canto 4, The Creation of the Fourth Order, Chapter 20, Text 27. Atha bhajetva kila purushottamam gunalayam padma kareva lalasha apyavayor ekapatis furdho kalir nasyat krita tvach charana aikatanayo. Now I wish to engage in the service of the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and to serve just like the goddess of fortune who carries a lotus flower in her hand, because his lordship, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is the reservoir of all transcendental qualities. I am afraid that the goddess of fortune and I would quarrel because both of us would be attentively engaged in the same service. Purport. The Lord is here addressed as Akila Purushottama, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord of the entire creation. Purusha means the enjoyer, and Uttama means the best. There are different kinds of Purushas or enjoyers within the universe. Generally, they can be divided into three classes: those who are conditioned, those who are liberated, and those who are eternal. In the Vedas, the Supreme Lord is called the Supreme Eternal of all eternals, Nityo Nityanam. Both the Supreme Personality of Godhead and the living entities are eternal. The Supreme Eternals are Viṣṇu Tattva, or Lord Viṣṇu and his expansions. So Nitya refers to the personality of Godhead beginning from Krishna to Mahaviṣṇu, Narayan, and other expansions of Lord Krishna. As stated in the Brahma Samhita, Ramadi Mortishu, there are millions and trillions of expansions of Lord Viṣṇu as Rama, Nrsimha, Varaha, and other incarnations. All of them are called eternals. The word mukta refers to the living entities who never come within this material world. The badhas are those living entities who are almost eternally living within this material world. The badhas are struggling very hard within this material world to become free from the threefold miseries of material nature and to enjoy life, whereas the muktas are already liberated. They never come into this material world. Lord Viṣṇu is the master of this material world, and there is no question of his being controlled by material nature. Consequently, Lord Viṣṇu is addressed here as Purushottama, the best of all living entities, namely Viṣṇu Tattvas and Jiva Tattvas. It is a great offense, therefore, to compare Lord Viṣṇu and the Jiva Tattvas, or consider them on an equal level. The Mayavadi philosophers equate the Jivas and the Supreme Lord and consider them to be one, but that is the greatest offense to the lotus feet of Lord Viṣṇu. Here in the material world, we have practical experience that a superior person is worshipped by an inferior one. Similarly, Purushottam, the greatest, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, or Lord Viṣṇu, is always worshipped by others. Pṛthu Mahārāja therefore decided to engage in the service of the lotus feet of Lord Viṣṇu. Pṛthu Mahārāja is considered to be an incarnation of Lord Viṣṇu, but he is called a Shakti-avesh incarnation. Another significant word in this verse is gunalayam, which refers to Viṣṇu as the reservoir of all transcendental qualities. The Mayavadi philosophers, in accordance with the impersonalistic view, take the absolute truth to be nirgun, without qualities, but actually the Lord is the reservoir of all good qualities. One of the most important qualities of the Lord is his inclination to his devotees, for which he is called Bhakta Vatsala. The devotees are always very much inclined to render service unto the lotus feet of the Lord, and the Lord is also very much inclined to accept loving service from his devotees. In that exchange of service, there are many transcendental transactions, which are called transcendental qualitative activities. Some of the transcendental qualities of the Lord are that he is omniscient, omnipresent, all-pervasive, all-powerful, the cause of all causes, the absolute truth, the reservoir of all pleasures, the reservoir of all knowledge, and the auspicious, and the all-auspicious, and so on. Pṛthu Maharaj desired to serve the Lord with the goddess of fortune, but this desire does not mean that he was situated on the platform of Madhurya Ras. The goddess of fortune is engaged in service of the Lord in the rasa of Madhurya, conjugal love. Although her position is on the chest of the Lord, the goddess of fortune, in her position as a devotee, takes pleasure in serving the lotus feet of the Lord. Pṛthu Maharaj was thinking only of the lotus feet of the Lord because he is on the platform of Dasya Ras, or servitorship of the Lord. From the next verse, we learn that Pṛthu Maharaj was thinking of the goddess of fortune as the universal mother, Jagan Mata. Consequently, there was no question of his competing with her on the platform of Madhurya Ras. Nonetheless, he feared that she might take offense at his engaging in the service of the Lord. This suggests that in the absolute world there is sometimes competition between servitors in the service of the Lord, but such competition is without malice. In the Vaikuntha worlds, if a devotee excels in the service of the Lord, others do not become envious of his excellence, of his excellent service, but rather aspire to come to the platform of that service. Text 28. Jagaj janayam jagadisha vaishasam syad eva yat karmani nasamihitam karosi falgvapi urudina vatsal karoshi falgvapi urudina vatsala svaeva dishnye biratasya kimtaya. My dear Lord of the universe, the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi is the mother of the universe, and yet I think that she may be angry with me because of my intruding upon her service and acting on that very platform to which she is so much attached. Yet I am hopeful that even though there is some misunderstanding, you will take my part, for you are very much inclined to the poor, and you always magnify even insignificant service unto you. Therefore, even though she becomes angry, I think that there is no harm for you, because you are so self-sufficient that you can do without her. Purport. Mother Lakshmi Ji, the goddess of fortune, is well known for always massaging the lotus feet of Lord Narayan. She is an ideal wife because she takes care of Lord Narayan in every detail. She takes care not only of his lotus feet, but of the household affairs of the Lord as well. She cooks nice foods for him, fans him while he eats, smooths sandalwood pulp on his face, and sets his bed and sitting places in the right order. In this way, she is always engaged in the service of the Lord, and there is hardly any opportunity for any other devotee to intrude upon his daily activities. Pṛthu Maharaj was therefore almost certain that his intrusion into the service of the goddess of fortune would irritate her and cause her to become angry with him. But why should Mother Lakshmi, the mother of the universe, be angry with an insignificant devotee like Pṛthu Maharaj? All this was not very clear. Yet Pṛthu Maharaj, just for his personal protection, appealed to the Lord to take his part. Pṛthu Maharaj was engaged in performing the ordinary Vedic rituals and sacrifices according to the karma kand, or fruit of activities, but the Lord, being so kind and magnanimous, was ready to award Pṛthu Maharaj the highest perfectional stage of life, namely devotional service. When a person performs Vedic rituals and sacrifices, he does so to elevate himself to the heavenly planets. No one can become qualified to go back home, back to Godhead, by means of such sacrifices. But the Lord is so kind that he accepts a little insignificant service, and therefore is stated in the Viṣṇu Purana that by following the principles of Varnashram Dharma, one can satisfy the Supreme Lord. When the Lord is satisfied, the performer of sacrifices is elevated to the platform of devotional service. Pṛthu Mahārāja therefore expected that his insignificant service to the Lord would be accepted by him as being greater than that of Lakshmiji. The goddess of fortune is called Chanchala, restless, because she is very restless and is always coming and going. So Pṛthu Mahārāja indicated that even though she might go away out of anger, there would be no harm for Lord Viṣṇu because he is self-sufficient and he can do anything and everything without the help of Lakshmiji. For example, when Garbhodaksha Viṣṇu begot Lord Brahma from his navel, he did not take any help from Lakshmi, who was just sitting by him and massaging his lotus feet. Generally, if a son is to be begot, the husband impregnates the wife, and in due course of time the son is born. But in the case of Lord Brahma's birth, Garbhodaksha Viṣṇu did not impregnate Lakshmiji. Being self-sufficient, the Lord begot Brahma from his own navel. Therefore, Pṛthu Mahārāja was confident that even if the goddess of fortune became angry with him, there would be no harm, neither to the Lord nor to himself. Text 29. Bhajantyata tvam ata eva sadhavo yudhasta maya guna vibramodayam bhavat padunasmara nadrite satam nimittam anyad bhagavanna vidmahe. Great saintly persons who are always liberated, take to your devotional service, because only by devotional service can one be relieved from the illusions of material existence. O my Lord, there is no reason for the liberated souls to take shelter at your lotus feet, except that such souls are constantly thinking of your feet. Purport. The karmis are generally engaged in fruitive activities for material bodily comforts. The jnanis, however, are disgusted with searching after material comforts. They understand that they have nothing to do with this material world, being spirit souls. After self-realization, the jnanis who are actually mature in their knowledge must surrender unto the lotus feet of the Lord, as stated in Bhagavad Gita, Bahunam Janmanam Ante. Self-realization is not complete unless one comes to the devotional platform. Therefore, it is stated in Srimad Bhagavatam that those who are Atmarama, self-satisfied, are freed from all contaminations of the material modes of nature. As long as one is affected by the modes of material nature, especially by rajas and tamas, he will be very greedy and lusty, and will therefore engage in hard tasks, laboring all day and night. Such false egoism carries one from one species of life into another perpetually, and there is no rest in any species of life. The jnani understands this fact, and therefore ceases to work and takes to karma sannyas. Yet this is not actually the platform of satisfaction. After self-realization, the material wisdom of the jnani leads him to the shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. Then he is satisfied only in contemplating the lotus feet of the Lord constantly. Pṛthu Mahārāja therefore concluded that liberated persons taking to the devotional path have acquired the ultimate goal of life. If liberation were the end in itself, there would be no question of a liberated persons taking to devotional service. In other words, the transcendental bliss derived from self-realization known as Atmananda, is very insignificant in the presence of the bliss derived from devotional service to the lotus feet of the Lord. Pṛthu Mahārāja therefore concluded that he would simply hear the glories of the Lord constantly, and thus engage his mind upon the lotus feet of the Lord. That is the highest perfection of life. And thus ends our reading for today. We'll continue from text 30 on Friday. Jai Viṣṇupād Paramahamsa Sripad Bhakti Madhava Puri Mahārāja ki Jai. Jai Srila Prabhupada, Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Gurudev, Srila Acharya Dev, Srila Shanta Maharaj ki Jai. Jai Rupanuga Guru Varga ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the worldwide devotees. Sama Bhaktiveda Vrinda ki Jai. Jai Navadvip Dham ki Jai. Nrsimhapali Dham ki Jai. Mayapur Dham ki Jai. Jagannath Puri Dham ki Jai. Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Ju ki Jai. Ganga Mai Yamuna Mai ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham ki Jai. Giri Govardhan Gupta Govardhan Dham ki Jai. Sham Kund Radha Kund ki Jai. Tulsi Devi Bhakti Devi ki Jai. Jai Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai. Jai Harinam Sankirtan Yagya ki Jai. Scientific Sankirtan Yagya ki Jai. Princeton Bhakti Vedanta Institute ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Institute ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat ki Jai. Nitai Gaura Premanandi Hari 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 Bol. Jai Shrimati Uma Devi Dasi ki Jai. Hari Bol.
Sripad Krishna Keshav Prabhu ji ki Jai.
Jai Gurudev. Dhanavad Sthiti. Hari Bol.